Join internationally acclaimed overland expert Paul Marsh and award-winning journalist Gregory Simpson as they delve into all things responsible overlanding. From choosing the right vehicle, getting yourself prepared, getting your vehicle prepared, safety tips, and much, much more. Only on Responsible Overlanding. Well, Mrs. Karunda, I'm not even going to try go for the first time. Hi Paul, thanks for sharing your experience. I own a Triton and want to get an overlanding car like a Patrol or an old cruiser. What's the difference between coil springs and leaf springs and the comfort on gravel roads?
There is a big difference. I mean, I think you're going to find that if you're driving a vehicle with coil springs, it is a lot more comfortable. You know, you've got a coil sprung, you're not going to carry as much load, you know. So it's generally the pickups, like the 79 series with leaf springs, because you have the ability to carry more load in the back. That's how they designed them. And, you know, which would be more comfortable? I think the coil sprung would be a more comfortable vehicle. You don't have to go for the new vehicles. I mean, I've built a lot of the old Prados, you know, the old 90 series.
Gorgeous car.
They're great. You know, they're just really, it's a small vehicle.
But it's got that, it's got quite a high roof though, the Prado.
But you know, for two people, it works really well. So yeah.
And that's your town car, is a little two-door.
I've got a two-door one, yeah, I love it. You know, I looked long and hard for that. So it's perfect. It carries my paramotor around so I can go flying when I'm not doing it.
So if you see anybody in the air, it might just be Paul. And Ethan Crowley, I saw Paul's grey 80 series cruiser parked outside Raffles Hotel in Cambodia last year when he came through for the Myanmar rally.
Yeah.
Would have been chuffed to have a chat with him.
Oh, I'm so sorry I missed you, Ethan. I would have loved that. Yeah, we were doing Southeast Asia with a group of classic cars, and I did the mechanical support on that, and Joe, my wife, was with me, and we you know, these guys, they stay in beautiful places, and some of them are lovely hotels, but we do explore. You know, when you take these old classic cars, which is something I really do enjoy.
And that must have been opening up Myanmar when it just became open to the
no, it wasn't so long ago. So Myanmar has been open for a good few years.
Okay.
But
the north must be majestic.
It was spectacular, because the rally organizer, Bruno, and his wife and his team from Destination Rally are a Belgian-based company. And so we work with them to support the rally. And it was in combination with a rally group that we started in England called Global Rally Organisation many years ago. And so every couple of years we pull together a rally for enthusiasts with their classic cars and literally take them on some pretty hectic roads. You know, we drove some tough roads. You'd question taking
Isn't that quite fun, taking a car that on some of these passes that aren't really supposed to be there?
Well, you know, it's we drove through the Cardinal Mountains, you know, and I think after the people had got their cars through, they went back and thought, wow, if you probably knew what road you were going on, you wouldn't have driven it.
Exactly.
But you know, to be said, it was spectacular. It was really an amazing trip. Beautiful part of the world, beautiful people, very humbling. Especially, you know, we went through northern Vietnam as well. And watching people there building roads by hand, and I mean by hand. So you're watching teams crush rock with hammers, and then carrying it and packing the road, and then taking, the only machinery they had was a steamroller, and then men with barrels, big 210 litre barrels, which they filled partially with bitumen, between two men walking up and down, letting bitumen go through. Oh, gee, it was just incredible to see them. They lived on the roads, basically, these road gangs, men, women, children. Yeah, so
and gravel, spectacular gravel riding twisting through the forests and whatnot.
Stunning areas. I mean, some of the pictures behind you, especially up there.
And here we have a life of travel here behind you.
So every time Joe and I do a trip, a rally, we come back and we choose one or two of our nicest pictures and we put them on our wall here. And that's what we do. It's just so nice. It's for us, not for we share it, but it's lovely to do that. Yeah.
Okay, John Sandlin says, though not in a purpose overland vehicle, I was able to design my WD-21 Pathfinder for extended camping trips. With Paul and Andrew's teaching, it has inspired me, and I was confident and able to create a truck that suits my needs. Priceless info. Thanks for all the grateful work. Cheers from New York City.
Fantastic. And Andrew's been doing this for many, many years, and he and I have collaborated on many trips and putting stuff together. And he's dedicated his life through books and videos and DVDs, and just great. So, I have huge respect for the people in the market. I haven't had the privilege of meeting Ronnie yet, and I'm sure I would love to do that as well. He's also a great inspiration. So
Andrew's like the godfather of overlanding.
Andrew's shared. He's an amazing storyteller, and I think he has filled a great niche in the market. I met Andrew many, many years ago he's South African as I am, but I think we met first.
There's some contention because he still maintains he's British.
Well, British origin, absolutely. And but we met when I was still in England, I think, many, many years ago. So it's been a path we've walked, and he's certainly put a lot out there, and I think that's what we need, And Overland Journal with Scott and his team and the guys they're putting in America there, it's fantastic.
What I like about Andrew is he's not afraid to be controversial, and if he doesn't like something, he'll say it. A lot of times these days people will kind of tiptoe and also take product for commercial reason, and so it's nice to have Andrew's sort of just bluntness, so to speak.
You know what? And I respect that. It's fine. It's he's very straight down the line. If he doesn't like it, he tells you he doesn't like it. That's great. And that's everyone has a place. I don't think any of us are the same. I'm not trying to be like Andrew. I respect and admire some of the work he's done because he's a very, very good videographer, and he's going on watching him capture imagery is just.
Must be like watching an artist.
What's interesting is when you do a trip and you do all the shoot, he captures all the imagery, and then you see it come together. That is an art form. He is gifted in how he can put it together, and the music he chooses, and it's a given talent, and he's very, very good.
And his daughter looks like quite a talented person.
Very talented. Kate is amazing. Yeah, no, Kate's great. She's got fantastic talent. She's definitely following her dad's footsteps.
I'm sure she's got the eye on the 105.
Yeah, she's used it, trust me.
And then Dacia Project asked BFG KO2 versus the Cooper ST Max in wet conditions for braking distance.
Yeah, so I can't give you honest replies on that, because there's going to be tests that have been done on that vehicle, and it's also going to depend on the weight of the vehicle that you're on, the conditions in the road. If you drive out and it's just fallen with rain and it hasn't rained for months, the road's a lot more slippery. So, it's not something I sort of go into without proper test data. So I'm not here to run a product up or down, because I'd rather go back to Cooper and to BF Goodrich. I think there's really, if you look up, there's probably really good data on that.
Yeah, there's definitely the braking distance
and
data.
I think, if any product is tested, it absolutely needs to be tested properly with proper parameters set in place, because there's no point guessing and thumb-sucking about a product, because you can do more harm than good, and it's not fair to me.
And it's horses for courses. You take a BFG and compare it to a highway tyre on tar, it's not going to... But put that tyre off-road, that's when it comes alive.
Yeah. And I think there's always, when you're choosing any tyre, you try to choose a tyre to do a balance of different conditions. So you're looking and saying, I'm going to choose a tyre to take me safely from here to there. This is the vehicle I'm driving. These are the conditions I'm going over. What is my choice? And like anything, there's going to be compromises and there's going to be value in each. You're never going to find the perfect solution, but you're going to find something that you feel comfortable with. I always say to people, if it feels good and the knowledge people who are sharing it with you makes sense, go for it.
The thing I like about BFG is they haven't gone away from the very, very strong sidewall, which in overlanding is
look, sidewalls are very, very important. A lot of tyres have gone with amazing technology that they've improved in many aspects, how they've improved the design of tyres. And I think, once you start comparing tyres, you really need to know what you're talking about if you're going to compare one against the next, to be absolutely critical on what it does. I mean, I've had amazing experience with both those brands. I haven't measured braking distances. There's always a debate, because you're taking a tyre that you're trying to get good mileage out of. So any tyre, let's rest aside, any tyre you're trying to get very good mileage out of, the compound's going to be slightly harder to give you the extra miles, you know. And if it's a softer compound, so if you compared a snow tire and a dry road tire, and you felt them, they're very different. You know, they're doing very different features and trying to keep you safe on the road.
And in terms of, I'm not going to mention the brand, but I had a test vehicle that had a very good tire on, but I had 2 leaks on the valve. I think a bit of dust got in there. Do you find do the tire companies team up with the valve makers, or is it 2 separate things? How does it work?
I don't think valves are made by different companies.
So that comes with the rim. Would it
well, you know, you'll get the rim, and then you'll get, people will buy different brands of valves depending on the tire fitter that's fitting your tire. So you're going to get the tire supplied.
So you might have the best tire in the world, but if your valve's not out of scratch.
Yeah. No, generally, I mean, most valves you'll find pretty much I don't get a lot of problems with valves. Where I do get problems with people don't put dust caps on. And don't go put the shiny ones on, because the shiny ones the kids also like.
The maple one.
Yeah,
they look really cool.
They look great until you come back and go, hey, where am I?
Yeah.
So no, just plastic ones. And I always carry a bunch of them spare, because if you do lose one or someone forgets to put it back, then it's important that you put a cap on, because once dust gets in there and then you fill your tire, dust can actually stop it from sealing properly, and then you have that problem.
Slowly.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you know, always the old adage is, when you pump your tire up, take a bit of spit from your mouth and smear it over the top of the valve stem, and then see if it bubbles. And if it bubbles, your valve is leaking. You know, people often don't look to see if a tire has gone down, where the leak is. My first thing I check is a valve, because a valve is one of the most key things that can leak. And then check that they're tight. You know, in a little valve tool, put it in, check that it's tight.